Well, guys, welcome back to the Big Screen Show. I'm Alex.
It's Wyatt.
All right, and this time we're gonna be talking with you guys for this movie that we saw last week, a couple days ago. It's called Last Breaths, which starring Woody Harrelson, Simu Liu, and Finn Cole. It's a movie that's based on a true story, and boy, this really gives like a certain type of event, especially with this occupation of like saturation diving, which again, I did not know that type of job, or at least I might have heard about it, but never knew the quite extent of it. So like this kind of gives like a pretty good opening to what that job is like.
Man, I was going to start off with the same thing. The insight in the job of a deep sea diver that it gives you is really realistic and really accurate. Man, they went through the procedures. They showed you the procedures of deep depressurizing and actually being in these depressurized vessels for days before you even go underwater, you know? So they really got into the nitty gritty and showed like what it's like to have this job. And that's one of the big odes I have to this film. They kept it real. Uh, they kept it real and kind of no BS on that part.
Mhm. Yeah, you want to start with what you thought about the movie as a whole, there, Wyatt?
Movie as a whole, it was pretty straightforward. It's a quick movie, you know.
Yeah.
I think it was like an hour and 33 minutes or something like that, maybe a little bit longer. But it was a quick movie. The people I went into the theater with, they also said it was pretty quick, straightforward. And we've seen movies like this before. Uh, there's a time limit on you have there's a time limit on when you have to save the person, and the people are racing back to rescue them. We've seen this type of film time and time before, but this one was based on a true story, and I gave it a 6 out of 10, and which is a good movie. I don't think it has a big rewatch factor to it, but I will say this: it stays realistic. There's no BS to this movie. There's no fluffing this movie. They didn't put anything in there to specifically maybe entertain the audience like we've seen from based on true story movies. They kept it real in this movie, which I respect. So 6 out of 10 for me. Good one time watch. Respect them for keeping it real.
No, yeah, I want to say that, yeah, this is actually a pretty good one-time watch, but a good one-time watch because I do agree. And its story is very fairly consistent. It's pretty simple, although the details that they went into for like the whole diving procedures and everything, especially when they're doing like this, showing like the filming of like on deep underwater and stuff like that, where it actually you feels like what it actually is like underwater and that stuff. Like filming is like brilliant. Like even moments where they have like where you see stuff from like camera shots from like drones, it feels like actual documentary footage and stuff like that, which I thought was pretty intriguing. But honestly, everybody does like a really solid performance. Like Simu Liu, Woody Harrelson, Finn Cole, the rest of the cast and crew, they all did a very good job. I wouldn't say anything too outstanding, but enough to show that, they're not half-assing it. They're doing a really good and solid job. But
Mm-hmm.
I also do like the fact that again, does give more reason to take and view. There's no fluff or anything that feels like outlandish. Everything is like logical. Nothing feels like there doesn't seem like the type of real thing in action that they're doing. But it's very straightforward, and they do have a lot of good showcasing of like underwater. But I would honestly do say I kind of give it an 8 out of 10 due to the fact that again it's very simple, but it keeps itself pretty fresh and still has like these good character moments within there during the time as like time is running out for specific character that this movie is taking place about in this certain event. So yeah, I give it an 8 out of 10 due to the fact that it is trying something very straightforward and unique, which oftentimes nowadays is kind of rare where some things feel a bit off. But honestly, I think the movie's still pretty solid, but it is still just a good one-time watch. Probably wouldn't watch it again unless I'm trying to like give like this bit of history certain happened at this particular time, certain like event thing, like in school.
Yeah, yeah. They watch it in school. I feel that it wasn't phenomenal, but it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
That's what I left the theater saying. I was like, hey, that wasn't like good. That wasn't like top 10 of the year. Wasn't phenomenal at any point, but it was a good movie. It was good. It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. Huh. I felt the actors' parts were a little short in it. Like Woody Harrelson, man, I thought it was going to feature him a little bit more.
Yeah, that is the point. So before we get any further ahead, all right, guys, this is gonna
Yeah,
be
yeah.
our main, it's gonna be our main spoiler
There I am
warning. So
again.
you want
There
to
I
leave?
am again, getting into spoilers.
Yeah.
That's my role in the show to spoil stuff.
It used to be me a little bit, but no, now it's switched. But
All
no,
right.
yeah.
Nah, real talk. Spoiler warning. We're getting into some spoilers. Six out of 10 for me. 8 out of 10 for Alex. Now let's get into the nitty gritty, man. I did think they were gonna feature Woody Harrelson a little bit more in this film, and I felt like Cole's character. To be real, he was laying there most of the movie. You know. Yeah,
Yeah, a lot
yeah,
of reviews have just been saying that, he's there. Just like,
yeah,
I
he's just
mean,
laying there.
yeah. Well, I say, yeah, you're right. Keep going. You're saying?
Another positive, I think a positive that I wanted to get to was the lighting. The lighting of the underwater. I felt like with the underwater lighting was as realistic as they could get it making a film. Like when they lit the flare, it wasn't like too much lighting. It was really like a orange, like a different even color than like fabricated lighting would be, you know? So I do think they kept it real with the lighting underwater. That's a really hard thing to do, you know?
Yeah, because like if it was like any other type of movie, they try to light the water up or the filming in there to be like as lit as possible. But with this, it actually showcases like you actually having that job where everything's like dark, you can't see anything because like Finn Cole's character Chris, who's a diver, he's basically seeing like it's dark, he's not seeing anything. He has to use like a flash. He has to use like a flashlight. Anything like that to try and find his way, especially use like an underwater compass thing to find his way through the dark, even have to climb his way up to like the rig and pipes. But so yeah, they really kept it very realistic with that type of job.
They did, they did. The huh. There's like a push pull with these movies where you got to keep it realistic and you can't add too much fluff. And I really think they hit the mark on that. Keeping it real. So, but I don't
Hmm.
really have anything else to add about this movie. I think the what was your favorite scene of the movie?
My favorite scene is definitely more of like the struggle of Finn Cole's character Chris as he's lost, trying to go through the water and trying to find his way up back up to like the riggers and diving belt and stuff that he was using in there. Because again, it shows a good showcase for like again water filming techniques and like the struggles for that type of job after your line gets cut off and you can't find your way back because that would actually be pretty difficult, especially with the fact that his backup oxygen only had like 10 minutes left, and the
And
fact
his
that
compass broke.
yeah, his whole time saying is broke. He only has like 10 minutes of air left, and then the whole movie literally takes place in like within 40 minutes time. 10 minutes for Chris, then 30 minutes as a whole for like everybody up there trying to find him, which again shows a really showcase for the timing. Because again, we usually in other movies we usually get like a time clock that goes down, but in this case, the time is going up for showcasing how much long he's is running out of oxygen and how long he's been underwater.
Correct on that. That was very suspenseful with the timer going up. I'm sitting there like, how the heck is this guy alive?
Yeah, I know, right? Because
I don't know.
again,
I don't know how dude survived that long without breathing. It's honestly a miracle situation. Like when he woke up in the thing, I was like, is this a dream? Like I couldn't even believe this was real. That the dude survive that. It was almost corny, you know, that he survived. If this wasn't based on a true story, you could be like, "What the heck? How did he survive that?" You know?
Yeah, that's true. Well, even to this day, nobody has a real legitimate answer on like how he survived all this without any type of brain damage or like physical effects, after effects, or anything like that. Like you said, it's a miracle in itself.
Yeah, it is a miracle, and it just that he woke up and it just was normal. You know, is
Yeah.
crazy. You think that you'd have brain damage. You think that something would be off, but for him to wake up like that, it was almost unbelievable.
Mm,
But
yeah.
it's based on a true story. This really happened. Miracles are real.
Yeah, I tell you, yeah, that
Yeah.
really makes you believe it so much. But honestly, I will do say I did like after he was recovered, there actually is more quiet and emotional moments in there for like his survival. Because as we find out early on in the movie, he has a fiance, and it's like he promised her that, hey, everything's gonna be okay. But it's like I basically died while, and so like I feel like I broke my promise. He had to sit with that for a couple of moments, and it's like because even Simu Liu's character Dave, who is basically like introduced as this dude who's like very serious about his job, after going through that whole event, basically sacrificing, risking his own life in order to recover this diver because he promised he'd find him. It's like, yeah, that's very selfless and brave, but also that quiet moment where he took a picture and looked back at his kids, and it's like, I did it. I'm gonna be able to go back to them soon. So it still was like what he was risking losing to do a brave thing.
Man,
Yeah,
right
but
on, right
honestly,
on, right on. A lot of people have to sacrifice that, man. That is a cool thing that this thing can pull on, man. Especially for an audience member that has somebody in situations like this where they're going off and you don't know if they're going to return or not. I mean, I think we can relate. We both have a parent in the military, so
mhm,
like my dad served tours and stuff like that. Well, in wartime, so I mean, I guess I could relate to that, and something everybody can relate to. And then I'm glad that was an extra layer they added to the movie because that didn't need to be added. The movie could have been the movie without the girl, without the pictures and all that, but that was an extra layer they added to pull on the heartstrings. And hey, you got to get another little ode to the director and the people working on this movie for doing a good job with that. It didn't feel corny, you know.
yeah, I do agree. 'Cause I think without those emotional moments and showcasing of what they have or risking to lose, I don't think the movie would really be as impactful or really even be worth that much to even be worth talking about, honestly. Because again, the
Hmm.
whole diving thing, yeah, that's like a major standout. That'd be like the only thing. But again, it's those quiet moments and these moments with these characters, especially Woody Harrelson's character Duncan, who, as we all know, yeah, he's not doing that much, not in that much. He's not doing a lot, but he is there for like the most important critical moment, which was recovering him, resuscitating him to bring him back. Because in real life, those guys were very close friends, so you can kind of see and feel that from the emotion that Woody Harrelson is doing in that moment when he thought that Chris had just died and they didn't recover him in time since it's been so long.
He did do a good job of portraying that emotion, like it wasn't just some coworker that you were on your first job with. Like
Hmm.
he really made it feel like they did have a relationship and that he was sad and heartbroken over this character's possible death, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
So his acting was great in the movie. He just wasn't featured a lot, you know? He was just in the in the pod the whole time. We heard his voice quite often in the movie, but not the normal, I guess, Woody Harrelson film where you're seeing him in an action style type movie or whatever movie it would be, man. It's just you're hearing his voice a lot rather than seeing him. And it just goes to what the type of movie this is, man, being based on a true story and the job of deep sea diving, you know?
Yeah, because like honestly, after seeing this movie, I may be thinking like, would you actually want to do this job?
Me?
Yes.
Shh. What's the check?
I think- yeah, I would think the exact same thing because like doing. I mean, the check gotta be good to be
You
risking your
got
life
it.
like
Yeah,
that.
you gotta be the pay's gotta be good, man. Uh, but sheesh, I don't think so. I don't think so. I want to go diving. Like I want to go scuba diving and stuff like that in my life, but doing it for a job at the bottom of the ocean like that, I don't know. What about you? Would you do it?
As a person who like loves swimming and actually wants to do diving like in the future as like on my to do list or like a bucket list and stuff like that. I mean, honestly, if the check is pretty large and pretty good, I'd be like, yeah. I mean, I spent a couple of weeks underwater. There's a bit of risk to it, but like, I'd risk it. I think I'd risk it. It'd be worth it, at least to me, because like, I find like peace and calm in the water. But
Yeah, yeah,
again,
yeah.
this is a risky job. But like,
It be
yeah,
it
I'd do
dep
it.
it depend what how the job works. Like I don't know if they work like one week on, 3 weeks off, or to something like that. Man, if it was a good enough gig, I would consider it.
Yeah, I think because I was looking up that job aspect, and it's like, I think it usually is like a couple of months, or maybe can usually last me like 3 to 6 months, or can oftentimes be at least like you like at least consecutive weeks without actually going back home and stuff like that, so like you're gone for like a large amount of time. It's about as long as you would probably have if you were like on a military deployment and stuff, because I was on a 6 month deployment, so I feel like that extension will be probably about that long, or maybe 3 months minimum.
I'm doing a little research right now. What huh? They talk about 1,400 a day.
No, for the money.
Yeah, let me find a different article. They talk about 123,000 a year.
Oh, I like that.
That's on ZipRecruiter.
Mhm.
So reputable. So they're making over 100K, which I expected, but I don't know. Taxes taken out. Shit,
Hmm.
that ain't that much. I'm getting technical here. My pay got to be like 150 at least to be a deep sea diver. Just to finish up the
Yeah,
conversation.
honestly, yeah. Honestly, I was expecting about 200. Honestly,
Yeah, same
honestly.
here. Same here. I might need to be around that 200 mark to be doing all that. But
Yeah, yeah,
let us know in the comments, how much would it take for you to be a deep sea diver? What's that annual salary looking like?
yeah.
Oh man, do you have anything else on this movie?
Yeah, honestly, yeah, actually, I just found this out that
Yeah,
apparently the director of this movie, he actually made a documentary film of this event that released back in 2019.
I saw that too. I saw that too when I was doing a little research, and I guess I'll have to throw the documentary on when I'm going to sleep or something like that.
Yeah, I'm definitely kind of see what the whole major difference is for him doing this documentary one and then doing this film. Because honestly, depending on how the documentary is, I feel like that one will probably be better. And if that's good or better than his film one, then I might have to drop the ranking. I might have to drop the rating down for the film down by one. Honestly.
Okay, okay, all right, interesting. I'll check it out. I'll throw it on in the background at least or something while I'm doing some work.
Yeah.
That's a good documentary time.
Yeah.
But I'm
Yeah.
trying to
Oh,
think if I
yeah.
have anything else. I think they did a good job with the giving us background into the deep sea diving. I think that my favorite scene. No, you talked about your favorite scene. I didn't talk about mine. My favorite scene was I think the scene that got me on the edge the most is when they actually broke off and the dude was talking them through like, "Hey, this is what you got to do. You got to get back up here to the top of the thing so I can find you." Blase, blase, and then boom, it just hit because I knew it was coming. Like I knew this thing was coming, and just seeing him float off like that and seeing what would happen in that situation, I think that was my favorite scene in the movie. If I could go back and watch one scene, I'd go back and watch that one. But they did a good suspense scene right there, and they didn't fluff it. I'm glad they didn't put no sharks at the bottom of the thing or something like that. You know, that's some type of fluff another movie would put in there. They'd put in
Yeah.
a shark attack scene at the bottom of the ocean like this, and shark attacks don't happen down on deep sea divers like this. It, it doesn't happen, you know.
Yeah, that's
Sharks are
true.
not even down that deep, you know.
Yeah, that's true. 'Cause actually, the reason there have been other movies like that you're talking about, where actually sharks do attacking like a very low below level. I think the movie was called 47 Meters Down, where it involved where it involved someone trying to get back up to the top before oxygen runs out, and the shark attacks
Ah,
happen.
oh, okay, okay, yeah. So I'm glad they didn't add anything like that.
Yeah.
You know, that would have thrown the movie off. That would have taken it down to like a 4 or a 5. You had something like that in there, man.
Yeah, I probably that would probably be down to like a 6 for me. Because like, come on, you don't need to be adding more to that. It don't make no sense.
Yeah, it don't make no sense. And we got to give a salute for them not doing that, man. I'm glad Hollywood is picking up on some of their errors and sticking to the script, keeping it real.
Yeah, yeah. All thanks to the director. And again, this basically is basically a second time making the movie, basically.
Yeah, yeah. But shoot, I don't think I have anything else on this
Yeah,
film. We're looking forward to Mickey 17 upcoming
yeah,
upcoming this week. I think it's going to be the best movie so far of the year.
yes,
You know,
absolutely. I swear the movie's probably gonna be part of our top 10 list by the end of the year. I swear.
I hope so.
Mm.
But man, I think that's all we got, man. I think we're signing off. This has been the Big Screen Show. Make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, and make sure to comment down below. What would it take for you to become a deep sea diver? Annual salary. That's what we're talking. It's Wyatt,
It's Alex.
and we'll see y'all next time for Mickey.
Yeah, peace out.